is meant by atmospheric pressure? We know that atmosphere also exerts some pressure on the objects which are present on the atmosphere. So whatever object you take on the atmosphere exerts some pressure on this. So this amount of pressure which is exerted by the atmosphere is known as the atmospheric pressure. So therefore the pressure exerted by the atmosphere gases over the surface of earth is called the atmospheric pressure. How this atmospheric pressure is measured? This is measured using a barometer. Then how can we find out the normal pressure? The normal pressure is measured using a manometer. So look at the difference between the atmospheric pressure and the normal pressure. Normal pressure is measured using a manometer, whereas the atmospheric pressure is measured using a barometer. So look at the first one, that is the barometer. So by using this barometer we can find out the atmospheric pressure. So barometer consists of a trough which contains mercury, and in a test tube, this is a test tube, and this contains also mercury. So here from this point, that is the level in the trough to this is called the vacuum. This height indicates the atmospheric pressure. If this height is expressed in centimeters, then the pressure is expressed in centimeters of mercury. If this is expressed in meters, then the atmospheric pressure is said to be in so and so meters of mercury. So therefore the common unit of pressure is atmosphere, and 1 atmosphere is equal to 76 centimeters of mercury or 760 mm of mercury. So what is this 76? So this is a standard value. Atmosphere creates a constant pressure on the objects which are present on the earth. What is its value? That is 76 centimeters or 760 millimeters. The height in this tube will give the value of the atmospheric pressure. If the vacuum level is less, then the atmosphere creates more pressure. Now coming to the highest pressure unit, the unit of high pressure is the bar, because we are obtained from the barometer, so therefore which is given as 1 bar is equal to 10 power 5 pascals. The unit of low pressure is given by torr. Completely we can pronounce it as torrcelli. The short form of this smallest unit of pressure is given by torr, and 1 torr is equal to 1 mm of mercury, because all these torr or centimeters or millimeters, all these are the units of the atmospheric pressure. In the atmospheric pressure units only, the pressure of the gas is measured. Here this is a conversion between the atmosphere and different units. This is given by 1 atmosphere is equal to 1.01325 into 10 power 6 dynes per centimeter square, and which is equal to 1.01325 into 10 power 5 newtons per meter square, and so on. So this is given by 760 torr. So you remember all these conversions of pressure units. Now how the pressure of a gas can be measured? The pressure of a gas can be measured using a manometer. A manometer is an open-ended or one-side closed-ended glass tube. This glass tube is filled with mercury. Suppose if you look at this open-ended manometer, if the level in the glass tube is same on both sides, then we can say that on both sides we have the same pressure. Suppose if this is connected to a gas chamber, then the level in the mercury cannot be same. The difference between the heights in the two limbs gives the pressure inside the gas. Using this formula H into D into G, this gives the pressure of the gas. In this way the pressure of the gas is measured. Coming to the another property of the gases, that is the temperature. The temperature is defined as, it is the measure of hotness or coldness of an object is known as the temperature. If you touch a ice with our hand, we feel very cold. When you touch with the fire, we feel very hot. So that means what we are feeling, hotness or coldness, the measure of that particular hotness or coldness is said to be the temperature. So there are three different temperature scales used to measure the temperature. These are centigrade scale, Fahrenheit scale and Kelvin scale. By using these three scales, we can measure the temperature. The temperature of a gas is generally measured in a centigrade scale, whereas the temperature of a gas is expressed in absolute scale or a Kelvin scale. So what is the difference between the centigrade scale and Kelvin scale? So centigrade scale is having a minimum temperature of 0 degrees centigrade, whereas maximum we can't see. Coming to the other scale, that is the Kelvin scale of temperature. In this, the minimum is 0 Kelvin. The temperature of a gas in absolute scale or Kelvin scale is given by Kelvin is equal to degree centigrade plus 273. So this is the conversion between the degree centigrade scale and the Kelvin scale of temperature. If you have given temperature in centigrade scale, we can convert it into the Kelvin scale by simply by adding the 273. So that means 0 degree centigrade is equal to 273 Kelvin temperature. So these are the measurable properties of gases. Coming to the another aspect of this gaseous state, gas loss. What is meant by gas loss? The measurable properties we have discussed so far. By relating these properties, we can obtain some loss. Those are said to be the gas loss. The loss which relate the properties of gases like pressure, volume, mass and temperature are called gas laws. So based on these properties, we can generate some laws. These are called as the gas laws. These are given by Boyle's law, Charles Gay-Lussac's law, Avogadro's law, Graham's law of diffusion and Dalton's law of partial pressures. These are some of the gas laws. Now, how can we obtain these gas laws? These gas laws are obtained through some experiments. All these laws are based on the experimental observations only. So let us discuss one by one. Let us consider the first one, that is the Boyle's law.